The woman who taught the world to sew beauty into fabric carried a secret that almost no one saw. To her millions of viewers, Donna Jordan was the smiling face behind Jordan Fabrics, the one who could take an intimidating quilt pattern and make it feel as easy as tying a ribbon. She radiated calm, patience, and kindness through every video. But in the quiet hours away from the camera, there was another story unfolding, a battle that would shape the final chapter of her life and, in its own way, the future of the quilting world she had helped transform. For decades, quilting had been more than Donna's craft. It was her language. She grew up surrounded by patterns, colors, and textures long before the internet could beam them to every corner of the globe. Born around 1958 in the small community of Grants Pass, Oregon, she was drawn to fabric the way some children are drawn to music or sketchbooks. Family and friends remember her as meticulous even as a teenager, the kind of person who could spend hours perfecting a stitch. Not because she had to, but because she wanted it to be beautiful. That same year, she met Matt Jordan. They were both 16. He wasn't yet the man who would one day run a quilting empire at her side. Back then, he was just a boy with easy laughter and an unshakable curiosity about the world and about her. The two became inseparable, tied together by shared interests, a restless drive to create, and the comfort of having someone who believed in you without conditions. Over the next 51 years, they would build not just a marriage, but a life stitched together by trust, hard work, and a vision that neither of them fully saw in the beginning. In the 1970s and 80s, quilting was not the global movement it would later become. It was still seen by many as an old-fashioned pastime, reserved for rural living rooms and church craft circles. But Donna and Matt saw possibility where others saw routine. They began cutting fabrics, assembling quilt kits by hand, and selling them at local craft fairs and traveling quilt shows. Weekends often meant long drives, setting up booths in rented halls, and talking for hours to anyone who shared their love of the craft. By the mid-1980s, their passion had a name: Jordan Fabrics. The business grew slowly at first, but it was grounded in something few competitors could match: decades of direct contact with quilters. Donna learned which fabrics felt best under the needle, which colors worked in harmony, and which steps in the process discouraged beginners the most. This last insight became one of her quiet revolutions. Many would-be quilters were overwhelmed by the precision cutting that most patterns demanded. So she and Matt began offering pre-cut kits, each fabric piece measured and sliced by hand in their shop. It was an elegant solution to a stubborn problem. People could skip the hardest early steps and dive straight into the joy of sewing. Over time, this decision would become the beating heart of their business model, but in those early years, it was simply about making quilting less intimidating for the people they met. For decades, the Jordans worked almost entirely offline. Grants Pass was home, and their shop was the center of operations. They employed a small but dedicated team, including their children, as they grew up. Their son, James, became a key part of the production side. Daughters Michelle and Monica pitched in with marketing and customer service. Even their son, Peter, though not on the front lines, found ways to contribute behind the scenes. Jordan Fabrics was not just a company. It was a family project, carried forward on the shared belief that the work mattered. Then came the shift that would change everything: YouTube. By the mid-2000s, teens Donna had spent decades teaching quilters one-on-one at shows and in person. But what if she could teach them anywhere? What if someone in a remote corner of the world could learn the same lessons without leaving their kitchen table? At first, the idea of filming herself seemed foreign. Yet the more she thought about it, the more she saw the potential. Matt set up cameras in their workshop and they began recording tutorials. The first videos were simple, steady shots of Donna explaining how to assemble a block, press seams, or choose color combinations. But from the start, her style stood out. She spoke without rushing. She showed every step, never assuming her viewers already knew the basics. And she did it all with a warmth that felt personal, as though she were standing right beside you. It didn't take long for quilters around the world to notice. The Jordan Fabrics YouTube channel began to swell with subscribers. Donna's tutorials were not just lessons. They were invitations into a space where mistakes were part of learning and beauty was built piece by piece. Viewers sent photos of quilts they had completed thanks to her videos, some even winning local competitions. Her influence began reshaping the quilting industry itself. Pre-cut kits became more common in fabric stores, echoing the very strategy Jordan Fabrics had pioneered. Younger audiences, once absent from quilting circles, began to see the craft as modern, creative, and even meditative. But while the outside world saw a woman at the height of her influence, inside her own home, Donna was facing a battle that few knew about. For several years, she had been quietly living with a serious illness. She never let it overshadow her work. Even in the final months, when her condition became acute and treatments more demanding, she found the energy to film tutorials, answer questions, and prepare new patterns. Matt and the family knew, of course, but to the viewers she remained unchanged, a steady, reassuring presence. On March 14, 2025 at 4 o'clock in the morning, Donna Jordan passed away in her home in Grants Pass. She was 67. The announcement of her death came in a way that stunned the community. Matt appeared in the opening of her latest tutorial, Drop Diamonds. Viewers expecting to learn a new pattern instead heard him say, "Hi everyone, I'm Matt Jordan, and this video will end right here." Unfortunately, on March 14th at about 4 a.m., Donna passed away. In that moment, a stillness seemed to fall over the quilting world. Thousands of comments appeared within hours. People wrote of crying for a woman they had never met in person, but who had felt like family. Others shared photos of their quilts, calling them their Donna pieces, made with patterns she had taught them. The video trended, not because of its content, but because of the collective grief and gratitude it evoked. In a time when digital connections can often feel hollow, this outpouring revealed something rare: the deep, lasting bonds that can form between a creator and a global audience when the connection is real. Matt and the family moved quickly to reassure the community that Jordan Fabrics would continue. "We will keep creating," Matt promised. They planned to release tutorials Donna had recorded before her passing and to develop new ones inspired by her methods. For them, continuing the business was not just about keeping operations alive, it was about preserving the space Donna had created, a space where quilters felt seen, supported, and inspired. By late 2025, the company was not just holding steady, it was growing. The family kept shipping pre-cut kits around the world, their 18-person team working from the same Grants Pass workshop. The mission had shifted from building a business to safeguarding a legacy. For the quilting world, Donna Jordan's death was more than the loss of a teacher. It was the loss of a symbol of patience, kindness, and the belief that creativity belongs to everyone. Yet her life left behind more than grief. It left a blueprint for how passion, shared generously and without pretense, can ripple across continents. Yet, there are still unanswered questions. How many more patterns might she have designed if illness had not intervened? How would she have responded to the continued evolution of quilting in the digital age she helped shape? Perhaps those answers don't matter as much as the truth that remains. She showed the world that a craft can be more than a skill. It can be a way to connect, to heal, to create meaning from raw material.